Hi everyone, I'm Simone and thank you for tuning into my channel. So today, as you can see from the title, I'm gonna show you how to solve a Rubik's Cube. So I'm just a nerd and I like it. So I'm just gonna give you some basics at first on the cube, and then I'll flip the camera and then show you how to actually solve it. So a cube is just a square, but 3D. So a cube always has 6 sides. So there are 6 sides, 6 colors. Now, it's important to note what colors are across from each other. So white and yellow are always across from each other, as you can see. Green and blue are always across, and red and orange are always across from each other. So that's the number 1 fact. Number 2 is that each face of the cube has 3 types of cubes on it. So the center cube never changes position. No matter how much you move the cube, this piece cannot move. This is what anchors the cube. So if you look at a side, you can immediately tell what color that side is supposed to be by looking at the center cube. So this one, yellow, orange, green, as so on and so forth. Now the second type of cube is an edge piece. Now the edge piece has 2 colors on it instead of 1. Now this edge piece is blue and red. For example, blue and yellow, blue and orange, etc. No matter how you flip the cube, any edge piece is only going to have 2 colors, and that's how you know where that piece belongs on the cube. So because this piece is red and white, that's how you know that this piece has to go in line with the red and white sides of the cube. That's basic information number 2. Number 3 is that the corner cubes have 3 colors. So this cube here has red, green, and white. So that's how you know that this cube belongs in this spot for the red, green, and white. So it sounds simple, and that's because it pretty much is. And so once you remember those basic things, you'll realize, okay, this is pretty easy. Now, the most basic algorithm that you can have to do for this cube is, if you think about the way that the cube is, I'll turn the camera around just so you can see it, because that's going to be a little bit easier. But this is going to be up, this is down, this is front, this is back, and this is referring to the sides of the cube. Now for me, before I flip the camera for you, this is my right hand and this is the right side of the cube, this is the left. I'll get into that when I flip the camera for real. But that's the basic overview of the things that you need to know about the cube before you get started. And now I'm gonna mix it up and we'll actually just get started. So the beginner method of solving the cube is to solve the bottom layer first, the middle layer next, and the top layer last. So that's how this video is going to be formatted. This is only going to be part 1, and that's to solve the whole first layer, and then part 2 and part 3 will be second layer and third layer respectively. So here we go. Let's get started. All right, friends, so let's get started again. Now I flipped the camera, so this is my right hand, this is my left hand. Now, with the cube orientation, up, down, right, left, front, back. Those are the sides of the cube. Now, if you hear me refer to any letter, that means to turn that side clockwise. And if I say that letter and I say inverted, that means turn it counterclockwise. For example, if I say right, left inverted, that means you're going to take the right side and turn the right side clockwise 1 time, and then you're going to take the left side and turn the left side counterclockwise 1 time. So if with the left side, this coming towards you is clockwise, but for the right side, technically going away from you is clockwise. So whenever you think of the cube, just remember to go clockwise with whichever face that we're talking about in that algorithm. I don't use any algorithms that use the back face. Honestly, if I need to use the back, I just turn it around and now it's the front, and then I'll do an algorithm using the front. But anyway, the first step that we need to solve the cube is to get across in any color on any side. I like to start with yellow only because I like to finish with white. It doesn't matter, you can start with whatever side you want. So first we're going to look for this cross, and in order to solve the cross, that means we need to find the piece that is yellow and blue because this side is yellow and this side is blue. So the yellow and blue cube needs to go here. Now the yellow and red cube needs to go here, and so on and so forth. So we're gonna find all of those. Now the easiest thing to do, since this one is already on top, let's just roll with that one first. We're gonna take this yellow and blue cube and move it over to match up with the yellow and blue sides of the cube. Boom, that one's already done, fixed. You're not gonna have them that easy all the time, but that's just how this one worked out. So now it's in line with both colors that we need it to be. So let's look for another one. How about, let's go with this one. So here's the yellow and orange cube, the yellow and orange edge piece. We're gonna take that yellow and orange edge piece and move it around to the yellow and orange side of the cube. But we need it to be right here, and therefore we're gonna put it underneath exactly where it needs to be. So we need it here, and right now we have it under here. So all we're gonna do is take it from here and turn the cube up 2 times to put it in its spot. Boom, you're done. So now the yellow and orange edge piece is in line, and we're gonna move on to another. So you see, we didn't disrupt our yellow and blue one that's in line, and now we have our yellow and orange. We're gonna look for our third. So this one is a more complicated example, so I'll show that one to you last. But for instance, this yellow and red is actually where it needs to be already. Remember I said that you want to put the whatever cube you're looking for, you want to put it directly underneath where it actually needs to go. So right now it's already there. We're going to take that and turn it up 2 times. And now it's on the top of the cube where it belongs. That's it. Now it's in line with the yellow and the red. Now here's our final cube. Our yellow and green is on its side right here. You can still put it underneath where it needs to go, but we were already halfway there. We can just turn it up back to the top, and now we have our full cube where all 4 edges are in line with the colors that they need to be in line with. Now I'm gonna give you a different scenario because it's not gonna always happen where your color is on bottom and you can just turn it easily to the top like that. Sometimes you'll find that when you get a piece and it's not exactly where you want it, it's underneath where you want it to go, but when you flip it up, it's in the right spot, but it's in the wrong orientation because we want the yellow here and the blue here. Whenever that happens to you, you're gonna take this cube, turn that face onto its side like so. You're going to turn the top face clockwise, and now you're gonna put this cube onto the top of the cube where you want it to go, and then turn the top face back to where you just took it from. Now boom, now it's in the right spot with the right orientation, and you didn't mess up any of your other colors. Everything else is still in line. So that's the first step. You now have your cross. Our second step of solving the whole first layer is to solve all of our corners, and then we'll be done. So by finding our corners, for instance, this corner, what color would you think it would need to be? This corner would need to be yellow, green, and orange. So let's find the yellow, green, and orange cube. It's right here already, actually. But this is going to be your first algorithm. There is an easier way to solve this, but I'll tell that to you on another time and just give you the basics for now. So we want to take the yellow, green, and orange and put it exactly underneath where it needs to be, where it already is right now. We want it here, so right now we have it right here. Our first algorithm is going to be right inverted, down inverted, right, down. Now you're going to do that all the way until this piece is in the correct orientation that you need it to be. So right inverted, down inverted, right, down, right inverted, down inverted, right, down, right inverted, down inverted, right, down, right inverted, down inverted, right, down. And now it's in the correct spot. Now you have your corner solved. Your first corner is solved. Now let's look for our next corner. This one should be yellow, orange, and blue. So let's look for the yellow, orange, and blue cube that's supposed to go right there. All right, we found it. Yellow, orange, and blue. Now we're going to turn that around to match up with the yellow, orange, and blue side of the cube. Here we go. Yellow, orange, and blue. It needs to be here, so we put it directly underneath where it needs to go. Now, you can do the opposite of right inverted down, inverted right down. If this yellow face, if it's facing you, that means when you do the opposite of right inverted down, it'll bring this piece up to the top faster. Because right now, if I did right inverted right down, in order to get this one here, I would have to do that algorithm 5 times in order to get that piece to be in the correct orientation up here, which is what we did last time. So this time, if we do the opposite of that, it's only going to take 1 time to get it where it needs to go. Because since a cube is 6 sides, if you do any algorithm 6 times, it's going to put the cube back into the exact orientation that you have it in right now. That was probably confusing. Ignore that if you didn't get it. It's not important. So instead of right inverted right down, we're going to do the exact opposite. And boom, that one is where it needs to go. If that was too confusing for you, you can truly just do right inverted, right down. You can do that 5 times and it'll put the cube in the same spot. Now let's look for the next one. This one should be yellow, blue, and red. Let's find it. Okay, here's a scenario. The yellow, blue, and red cube is over here and it's already on the top of the cube. We don't want to mess anything else up here up. So we're going to take this piece, put it to the bottom of the cube, turn it away, either direction, doesn't matter, and then put this face back up to where we just got it from. That way we don't mess up anything else over here, but now we got the yellow, blue, and red cube onto the bottom of the cube in order to bring it to the side that it needs to be at. So now that it's in the correct side, we have it directly underneath where we want it to go, and now we can do our algorithm. Right inverted, right down, right inverted, right down, right inverted, right down. I'm just doing it extra times just so you can get the gist of how easy that flows because it was already solved. So here we go, and down. You always want to make sure you complete that last down of the right inverted, right down, because once we get to the top layer of the cube, that's going to be really important, where if you miss that last turn, you're going to mess up your whole cube and have to start over again. So now that we have only one more corner, let's find it and let's solve it. So here it is, we found it, and we want to turn it to underneath where we want it to be, which is right here. And now we're going to do our algorithm. Right inverted, right down, right inverted, right down, right inverted, right down. Boom. And now you're done. You have now officially solved the whole first layer of your cube. Congratulations. All right, if you want to see how to solve part 2, like layer number 2, then go ahead to part 2 of this video. All right, I'll see you later. Thanks for watching.